hospice team met Monica through one of our patients, Richard Farnum, who had just very recently been diagnosed with a very, very aggressive cancer. And he had just come home from the hospital. We got the intake saying that this man had no family locally, and his only friend in DPOA was also his landlord, which was Monica Kavanaugh. So initially we were a little nervous. We know this young man with a very, very aggressive cancer, and it didn't sound like he had a lot of supports. But that very first day we met Monica, we knew she was different than just a landlord. Richard sat down and told us stories about how he had health complications that didn't allow him to work, but she would hire him to mow the yard. So he said, she made me feel like a man. She made me feel like I had a role. And he said, her and her kids have come into my home. They've cleaned my home. They have provided meals for me. And he said, there's no financial reimbursement for this. She's not doing this for the money. I can't give her anything. She's doing it because she has a good heart. And he kept calling her his angel. That's how our team first got to meet Monica.
Mom took him to the hospital, and he found out he was full of cancer.
They took him to the hospital because they thought he had pneumonia, because he was just coughing and couldn't get better. And so Mom just finally gave in and said, get in the van, I'm taking you to the hospital. And then they found out it was cancer.
He's from Germany. He was a veteran. He served in the German army for several years, and then he moved over to the American army.
He actually got wounded in the war, and so he just did a lot of work around the trailer park for us. He mowed yards, and he did a lot of maintenance work for us, and she took him to every specialist appointment. We cooked him dinner all the time while he was in the hospital. Me and my sister and brother remodeled his entire house so he could come home to a clean, fresh, healthy environment. Mom treated him like a brother. I mean, she never, anything he needed, no matter if it was 2 o'clock in the morning or...
We really did just adopt him. Poor guy.
When he was in the nursing home for, I think, 24 hours is all, he wouldn't speak to anybody until my mom got there. He didn't comprehend anything that was going on, and as soon as she walked in, he sat up and started talking. And
she was always a phone call away, and she would call him even though she was out of town, and she was the best medicine for him. He was very anxious, and he would get on the phone with Monica, and instantly he would be relieved, and he would just have that peace. She and her family it was outstanding. Even though he didn't technically have family here, they stepped up to the plate, and they were better family than most families we come across. He wanted red lobster. He wanted some crab legs, and Monica pulled through at the hospital. She smuggled in some crab legs, and he was able to eat that a couple of days before he passed away.
She's taken care of a lot of people.
Just because she loves to do it.
A lot of elderly. We had 3 people living with us growing up that we took care of until they passed away, and then her fiance's parents she took care of until they passed away, and she's just always been a caregiver, and she'll give you the last penny she has. She's just always been that way.
She will give anybody a chance, and and a second chance, and a third chance. And it's kind of her burden, but she doesn't do it for anything. Not for any reason other than, they needed me.
Rick was placed in the hospital for pain management, and he knew things were changing very rapidly for him. And while we were up there visiting, he said, I have a couple goals. I want to make sure Monica gets recognition, most importantly, for everything that she's done for me. And he asked me to help him with that process. So pulled out my computer, we sat down, and I sent in a paragraph to American Red Cross and asked that we nominate Monica to be a hero. In his eyes, she was very much a hero. I'm hoping he's looking down at us and knowing we made sure we got done what he wanted to be done.